Hey guys, Thomas here. And that's my bird you hear in the background, so just ignore that. This video I'm doing today is going to be a little bit longer than what I normally do. This was taken during our what amounted to a 3-day expedition in the forest of Kentucky. I had taken Guy Luneau out into the field to look for Sasquatch evidence. At one point, we stop and do an interview, and Guy's telling us about his encounter he had in 2006. At the end of that video, we have some activity. So what I'll do now, I'll let you watch the video, then at the end, I'll probably have to explain what's going on a little bit and show you some other footage. Here's the interview video with Guy.
I am Guy Luneau. I'm a born and raised Arkansan, Arkansas. I'm a chemical engineer. I'm retired from that and have been steeped deeply in the sciences for all my adult life. But my lifetime outside of work has been spent in the outdoors. I've been fascinated by all things, everything in the outdoors. Thomas Marcum, who's filming me here, whom you all are familiar with and may know quite well, has taken me into the woods in eastern Kentucky because I called him and asked him, would you show me your woods? But what I'm here today to tell you is that I had an encounter before I was head over heels into Bigfootdom, Sasquatchdom, 15 years ago. Today is May 19th, 2021. Did I say that already? On April 19th, 2006, which would be 15 years and 1 month ago, I had at 4:15 a.m. early spring an encounter with what I believed at the very time it happened had to be two Sasquatches. And today, having recounted this story thousands of times in my life, I'm as convinced today that what I heard was two Sasquatches. It was not a sighting, but it was vocalizations, and I'm gonna do my rendition at the end of the story. But to not drag this on too long, I was on a 3-day, 2-night turkey hunt all by myself in northern Arkansas. If you guys know of the Buffalo River National River, it was the first wild and scenic river in the United States of America to ever be dubbed that. I was in the lower Buffalo Wilderness area on a Monday morning, which would have been April 17th, because it was the final morning when I heard the two Sasquatches. So April 17th, I put my canoe in the river at the little town of Rush. I paddled 1 mile downstream, took my canoe out on River Right. There was a nice little bench a few feet above river level. I pitched my tent camp, which was going to be my camp for Monday night and Tuesday night. And I was going to hunt Wednesday morning and then paddle back upstream 1 mile to my car and take out. So I hunted the first day, did not get a turkey. That would have been Monday afternoon. Woke up early the next morning, Tuesday morning, at my little camp, turned on my dim lantern, ate my Cheerios breakfast, packed my food and my gear, hiked in darkness by flashlight up to where I wanted to go try for that turkey I heard the last evening. Hunted all day on Tuesday, still no turkey. So I returned to my camp right before dark Tuesday night, and I made the plan in my mind. I'm going to hike even farther up to where I heard the turkey, and I'm going to do this again. I'm going to set my watch alarm for 4 o'clock and get up, eat my breakfast, and go up and try to get this turkey on Wednesday morning. So that morning, a cool front had come through. That next morning was pretty chilly. Mid-April in northern Arkansas can still get near freezing. I think it was 42, 44 degrees that morning when my watch alarm went off. So I got up, lit my dim lantern, put my Cheerios in the bowl, was on my ice chest, and I had a little bitty camp stool. So I was sitting with eating my cereal only 15 minutes after I had waken up. This chilly, calm morning, last quarter moon overhead shedding a dim light into the otherwise blackness of the lower Buffalo Wilderness area. By the way, I had not heard another gunshot, and that was a good year for turkeys that year. And I knew there might have been, I didn't know. I figured there might have been some hunters and I might hear a gunshot, but I knew I wasn't going to see another human. Midweek, April, kids are still in school, adults are still at work. I'm the only person in these square miles, is what I knew or what I suspected was the case. So I'm sitting there at 4:15 a.m., 15 minutes after I have waken up. I'm spooning shovelful after shovelful into Cheerios in my mouth. No owls, no whippoorwills. Whippoorwills had already migrated back, but they weren't calling. There was no cricket noise. It was just a calm, dead calm morning, no wind, dead calm. Nothing was making a sound. I'm like, in the darkness. So I was going along, and just out of just what broke the silence, just like a ton of bricks, behind my left shoulder, I heard, and here's my first rendition, and the answer that came back from the north side of the river 3 seconds later was even louder. It was not an echo of the first one because there were no cliff faces, and I understand the attenuation of sound of anything. You could call it, kind of echoes off innumerable tree trunks and tree branches, but we call that attenuation. It's thousands of little echoes off of trees, but not a sheer cliff face echo that comes back to you almost at full volume. All right, so anyway, I've got a mouthful of Cheerios, crunch, 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 and I hear, whoo! And behind my left shoulder, and my psyche instantly said, quarter mile away, and I said, what in the heck? I was thinking, what in the heck? But let me just go ahead and let me do the episode back before I explain. So I'm got a mouthful of Cheerios, and I stop in mid-crunch when I hear, whoop! I'm like this, and then whoop! From the north side of the river. It was on the opposite side of the river, unless they were a whole lot closer to me than I thought. But I said quarter mile and quarter mile, which made us two Sasquatches and me in an equilateral triangle, because I said, that's no bird, even the barred owl, which has a tremendous repertoire. I ruled out all birds instantly. And I ran through the mammals real quick in my mind, blah, da, 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 da. I said, mountain lion, I've heard them on television.
Did you hear that tree push over?
I certainly did.
That was a tree push over. Now, did it just fall randomly? And you just whooped out?
Oh my!
And we are in Bigfoot territory.
Folks, neither Thomas nor I joke around, but
no, not like that.
A large crack happened.
Well, finish up your story and we'll go that way.
Yes, we will. That's not very far either.
No,
Thomas.
And there's a light breeze, but that ain't going to push no tree over.
This is no acting. I'm not an actor. Thomas is, well, wow. I'll let him speak for himself. He's the real deal. Oh my gosh.
What do you think about that?
So I basically ruled out. I went and listened to mountain lion vocalizations back the next day after I'd gotten home from my 3-day turkey hunt. And but even sitting there, I was thinking, that was distinctly human or primate in quality. Nothing else has that clear human primate sound. And I ran through, I said, we know gorillas sound like that. We know chimpanzees make sounds like that. Gibbons make sounds like that. I said, I believe those were Sasquatches. So my hike by flashlight from 4:30 a.m. to 5:30 a.m., getting up high into high country, that was running through my mind, but I wasn't scared. At that point in my life, I had already self-assessed and had come to the conclusion that Bigfoot is a real mammal on this planet. Their presence doesn't frighten me. Maybe I should be more frightened than I am.
They're pushing trees over, maybe.
I know if one ever gets a hold of me, I have no chance. But I guess the preponderance of evidence suggests that they're not
violent most of the time.
Violent, but those whoops I did, I don't know if we have ticked him off,
or he's maybe coming to see what's going on.
Yes, he may be.
But during your trip, turkey hunt, did you have anything else happen from there on out?
No. What I wish in retrospect, in the direction they were, I had to paddle back upstream to where I would have placed myself in between them, and the thought never crossed my mind. And the Buffalo River that April was fairly low, which means there were probably some pretty good flat mud banks on both sides. The presence of mind wasn't there for me to just pull over even for 10 or 15 minutes and go walk around to see if there were any footprints.
Yeah, possibly some tracks.
But I did, my story, I did write a 3-page story on it. It is on the BFRO website. If you go to Arkansas and Marion County, and you can dig around and read my 3-page story. I'm going to email it to Thomas Marcum, but the rest of you viewers could find it on the BFR. I know it's still there. I looked at it 6 months ago or so, and it's still there. But
all right, do you want to go check that out now? The
yes.
tree push?
What I want to do now is replay the tree crashing sound a couple times for you, so maybe you can hear it a little better. At this point, when we ended the interview to go see if we could discover where the tree had been pushed over or fell over or whatever happened to it, as we both got up and started making our way to the right, we heard something over the bank. At this time, Guy started to film with his GoPro. I didn't use my camera at this time. It was too far down the hill anyways. But Guy also had his binoculars with him. Being an avid bird watcher, that makes sense. But we both heard something over the bank, and at one point, Guy's looking through the binoculars, and he thinks he sees something. So he hands me the binoculars. I can see it as well. And what we were looking at, against a very dark, almost black tree, was a rounded top of a head of what appeared to be a Sasquatch, a Bigfoot. It was very, the hair was very, very dark looking. It was very, kind of, I won't say short, but it was just fuzzy looking. Kind of, if you've ever seen anybody who's had a burr and then it grows back kind of all weird like, it kind of looked like that. And we could both see this rounded top. It looked like the top of a head. But of course it was too far away to really for the GoPro to pick it up. There's a lot of small saplings and stuff in between us, and the thing is, we look back again just a few minutes later, just a few seconds later, and neither one of us could see the figure anymore. So we thought maybe if we did see it, it went behind that black tree. Of course, we can't say for sure that it was a Sasquatch, because we looked at it for, I don't know, probably 20-30 seconds. I even went down the side of the bank a little ways, side of the mountain a little ways, but there was a pretty good drop off, a cliff drop off there that really I couldn't get down anyways. But I made my way back up to the top, but the figure was gone after that. I can't say for sure, if that was a Sasquatch or what, but it looked like a rounded top of a head to both of us, and then it was gone. So what we did next, we actually went on around to the right and found where the tree had been pushed over. It wasn't very far from where we had thought we saw this figure. So what follows now is just I'll shorten it down a little bit, is just a little short video of where the tree was either pushed over or fell over. If it just fell over, it was an odd occurrence at an odd time. It's been perfect timing, I guess you would say, a coincidence. But here's that little short video.
But now this is what we heard, and that's a healthy tree. That's not a rotten tree. That is a healthy tree.
what I'm going to need to do is get beyond this closer one that's fallen over to see what the character.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're probably better off going down that way,
Yep.
because it's kind of dangerous here.
I agree.
Because we don't want to get injured. But now, when you done your whoops, telling your story, we was at the top of this little hill in a level spot, and then this tree pushed over. You thought you seen something next to the tree that had fur on it. I seen something move down there.
I'm hearing you all the way.
Definitely unusual.
The only issue I have is I thought the original sound of the big pop, I pointed more down.
Well,
hill.
it probably echoed around.
Okay.
They'll play tricks on you.
Okay.
But you can see, you can see the bark on
I
that.
see that.
Okay guys, just a couple of things I want you to remember about this video. We had found individual tracks probably from anywhere from between 3 and 6 Bigfoot on this, or in this area. Different ranging in different sizes, so it's a real good place for Bigfoot. We still couldn't really determine what happened to the tree, whether it's pushover, was it natural, or whatever. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry it's so long, but I had to try to get it together the best I could where you could understand it. But if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified when we post a new video. And I thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.